The other day, a troll channel was set to host a live stream debate between himself and the owner of the First Amendment Protection Agency, or Fappa channel. Fappa advertised the event on his channel's community tab with the heading Live Interview with one of the biggest haters of American rights on the internet. Make sure to tune in and hear how menial and futile their arguments really are live. Over 20 minutes into the advertised 3 p.m. Eastern start time, rather than honoring his word to engage in the debate, Fappa chose to go live on his own channel where he justified his withdrawal with this explanation.
So yeah, anybody that was looking forward to the live today with Fraud or Troll, I talked with some people that I have in this community to back me here, that support me and love me. Got a lot of people hitting me up all the time. So thank you to them for always steering me in the right direction. First of all, I have many, many good friends and many great people in this community that are always willing to help and always willing to give me the word of advice that they wish they had when they were starting this. So overall, just to start it off, I've already done a live debate with Fraud or Troll before, and there is nothing to debate. There is nothing to debate. When you're going against the Constitution, something that's been tried, true and tested many, many times, brought through the court, brought through the Supreme Court, and when your standpoint on the whole thing is you're annoying, so you don't get constitutional rights, there is nothing to debate with you. I told him time and time again to not be calling this a debate because simply it was an interview, but he still calls it a debate when there's really nothing to debate. So I've already done this once with him.
Now, while it may be true that there are some people on this earth that aren't worth talking to and wasting your time with, that's irrelevant in this case because Fappa's word had already gone out into the universe. The bottom line question is, and when the dust settles at the end of the day, will you do what you said you were going to do? If there was one sure mark of a man of character, it's that a man of character keeps his word. Your word is your bond. It's your reputation. On principle, promises with your mouth are as binding as a formal contract. Aside from assistance in remembering the details of an agreement, one of the reasons we have written contracts and lawyers and legal actions these days is because people can't be trusted to do what they said they'd do. Keeping your word reflects a commitment to honesty, integrity, and accountability, implying that the word giver will follow through with what he said he'd do without the need for additional assurances. Don't misunderstand me. This isn't me counting Fappa out or saying that overall he lacks integrity or is a bad person, but he did mess up here. Backing away from your word is not a responsible action. I don't care how many people approve of what you did. You promised you'd do something and you backed out. Period. If we're honest with ourselves, we've all messed up in this area. You just got to brush yourself off and make things right. But this failed live stream brought some things to light that should be at least briefly addressed. First and foremost, frauditor channels claim that auditors are frauds. And some of them may be. I don't know. But is holding a camera in public fraudulent? If a fraud is wrongful or criminal deception intended to result in financial or personal gain, then the anti-auditor channels, in order to support their positions, need to demonstrate what is wrong, criminal, and deceptive about a guy with a camera on a street corner or in a publicly accessible area filming what his eyes can see. Just because you don't like what somebody's doing doesn't mean that they are frauds. But that's not the way troll channels view it. This particular anti-auditor channel has already made the charge that a man recording on a street corner is tantamount to, quote, baiting cops and the public into confrontations. But couldn't it actually be said that when a cop or a member of the public tries to put their hands on the cameraman, that they are in fact baiting the cameraman into defending himself? The wrong or criminal act happens when the cop or the member of the public begins threatening and laying their hands on somebody just because they don't like what they're doing. The bottom line is, and this is just the way I view it, let me know if I'm wrong, the claim of fraud for the exercise of an unalienable right is patently, demonstrably false. And the second thing is that in the live stream that the troll channel continued to host without the presence of First Amendment Protection Agency, after wading through mountains of ad hominems that range from mocking Fappa's hair to making fun of his teeth to asserting he lives in his mother's basement, the troll's two main arguments against Fappa, at least in this live stream, are that number one, he's an Amagansett Press fan because he does selective edits in his videos.
The first thing I wanted to talk to Fappa about was that he is a big Amagansett Press fan, and it truly shows in his content. It truly shows in his content because he loves his selective editing. That was my first point. Look at this. I'm going to put it on 1.5 times. Take a look at this, guys. And remember, keep in mind that frauditors and lens lickers, they don't have the objectivity to analyze the frauditor's video, seconds by seconds, look into the details. They just see a cop and their mind goes blank. They get enraged. But we, on the other hand, can look at things objectively. And I want you to take a look at this.
If you're going to talk to me, you talk to me with respect and learn some manners, Sonny.
No, Sonny.
Did you guys see that? At 4:45, there was a subtle cut. Just a little cut. And you can barely notice it if you're not really paying attention.
Some manners, Sonny.
No, Sonny.
You see, the officer is standing here, then he's standing here. So what that means is that there was something that this officer said that he didn't want his audience to know. He didn't want his audience to know about this. Or it means that he said something that he didn't want his audience to know. So you see, when I was going to present this to Fappa, there is no way he could have explained this.
And number two, the troll says that Fappa pepper sprayed a woman, but not a man who was hitting him. And that was all he listed in the live stream. Now, if somebody gets in your space, you've got the right to defend yourself however you choose. A woman can pull a knife or a gun on you just like a man. Why he pepper sprayed a woman and not a man, I don't know, and I don't feel the need to speculate about it. The troll channel and his audience basically called Fappa a coward, a clown, a bitch, and a punk for doing this. And there were a lot of other colorful words added in there. As for the edits, who knows? I'd only be speculating. If there was some kind of deceptive cut to make him artificially look better, I'm not down with that. And while there are many, many points in the live stream where the troll and many in his audience let their fangs and claws show, this part encapsulates and highlights the fact that neither he nor they are interested in anything that resembles the truth.
Here's the deal, is projecting his one bad encounter with the police from the 90s who are long retired onto police today, not the same generation. Oh, for sure. The same thing with, what's his name? Dale. He has the thing with LIA. Yeah, anyways, forgot his name. But you're totally right. Thank you so much.
For sure, you're totally right that my social media presence is predicated on one bad police encounter in the 90s. And because of this one bad experience, I project all of that onto my channel. Now, can you imagine making a statement about somebody you don't know, about something you could have no knowledge of and have no proof for? And then imagine having a massive audience and agreeing in front of your audience with an unsubstantiated statement made by another person that you don't know. Their mouths are writing checks that facts refuse to cash. Not only that, nobody cares statement about cops, and the troll's agreement with that statement ignores the fact that while this is not the same generation, cops are still dishing out bad experiences all the time, and it keeps getting worse. And here's a short list. Philando Castile died by cop trying to obey the cops. Daniel Shaver died by cops trying to obey cops. Johnny Hurley died trying to save cops, and he was shot by cops. Homeless man James Boyd died by cops trying to just live in the desert. Kelly Thomas died by cops trying to be left alone. Stephen Lara had his life savings stolen by cops for no reason. Johnny Wheatcroft was tortured in front of his family for contempt of cop. 72-year-old dementia patient Karen Garner was brutally treated and was mocked by the cops who brutalized her. Botham John was killed by Officer Amber Geiger, who entered the wrong apartment. Maryland cops shot and killed Gary Willis while serving a red flag order. Dennis Tuttle and Regina Nichols and their dog were killed by HPD in a botched no-knock raid. Breonna Taylor was shot and killed in her bed by Louisville police. And not one of the 376 Uvalde officers from multiple agencies would even save the kids in Robb Elementary School while the shooting was still going. The Knapp Commission in the 1970s unearthed widespread systemic corruption in the NYPD, and 20 years later, the Mullen Commission found that the NYPD corruption that the Knapp Commission uncovered had gotten much, much worse. And get this, the Royal Commission found rampant, widespread corruption in the New South Wales Police Service to the point where they had to fire hundreds of police officers. Arkansas cops justified deadly pit maneuvers on pregnant women who were trying to comply, and we haven't even approached the surface of police corruption, let alone scratch it. And these trolls will sit behind their screens and call people exercising their rights frauds. They are willing to call you a fraud because you want to shine the spotlight on police corruption. You want to exercise your rights under this Constitution. And when cops and the public come after the cameraman, somehow in the minds of the trolls, you are still the fraudster. Maybe it's a good principle to follow. Never argue with a fool. Onlookers may not be able to tell the difference. And never argue with stupid people because they will drag you down to their level and beat you with experience. Leave your thoughts about this in the comments below, and I will see you in the next video.